Ever catch yourself like daydreaming about a career where you're not just, building things, but actually inventing the future?
Yeah, totally.
Today's deep dive, it's for anyone who's ever wondered what it really takes to be a research engineer.
We're talking about those minds that bridge, cutting edge science with actual real world applications,
Yeah.
taking those what if ideas and turning them into how to realities.
And we've got a ton of insights from RoleCatcher's career guide today. Plus, we're going to take a look at how AI is shaking up the field, both the work itself and the job hunt. So buckle up.
What I find so fascinating about this role is that it's not just about, being brilliant in a lab, which, don't get me wrong, is important.
Right.
But it's about being that vital link between like groundbreaking research and tangible solutions.
Yeah. RoleCatcher uses this phrase. They say research engineers bridge the gap between engineering principles and innovative technologies.
I like that.
It's not just about knowing the formulas. It's about seeing where those formulas can, change the world, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Take, for instance, developing those new battery technologies that are used for electric vehicles.
Right.
That's a research engineer taking, the theoretical knowledge of electrochemistry and material science, and then applying it to a real-world challenge that has huge implications for, well, everyone.
You've just highlighted the complex problems that the guide mentions.
Yeah.
What other challenges might a research engineer tackle? I mean, you've touched on one.
Oh, it's a field just teeming with them. Imagine working on robotics, but in healthcare. So, like designing prosthetics that actually respond to neural impulses,
Wow.
or even surgical robots that can operate with incredible precision.
That's where it gets really exciting, seeing how these roles push the boundaries of what's possible. But, RoleCatcher doesn't just paint this, rosy picture, right?
Right.
They also get real about the skills needed to thrive in this demanding landscape.
And it's not always what you'd expect. Of course, you need that rock-solid foundation in, math and science. But the guide really surprised me by emphasizing reading comprehension as, absolutely vital.
See, you might think, reading, isn't this about, equations and experiments? But when I read that, when I dug deeper, it made perfect sense.
Oh, yeah.
Look at
Think about it. Research engineers are just bombarded with all these new research papers, constantly technical documentation, reports from all these different teams. And if you can't rapidly absorb, analyze, and extract the key takeaways from complex writing, you'll fall behind.
Totally. It's like being a detective in a way, sifting through clues to solve the puzzle of innovation.
Exactly. And you need that sharp, active learning muscle, too. It's not enough to just passively absorb information. You have to constantly be seeking out new knowledge, challenging assumptions, and adapting your approaches based on, the latest findings.
Which makes me think about the collaborative aspect, because the guide also stresses communication, active listening, even critical thinking, alongside those hard skills. Why are those so crucial for a research engineer? I mean, it's not just you by yourself, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely not a lone wolf kind of field.
Yeah.
You're not going to be, holed up in your basement working on something brilliant.
Yeah.
You have to be part of a team, often working with people from, all sorts of different backgrounds, other engineers, scientists, even business folks.
Right. Yeah.
You need to be able to not only, do the work, but then explain those complex concepts clearly,
Right.
listen to different perspectives, and then collectively troubleshoot when, inevitably the experiments take some kind of crazy left turn that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, because that always happens.
Oh, of course, always, yeah.
It sounds like a blend of intellectual rigor,
Yeah.
but also that real world problem solving, which I imagine makes the job incredibly stimulating.
It is, yeah.
But RoleCatcher also gives us a sneak peek into what that day-to-day actually looks like.
They do.
Give us the inside scoop.
And it's not all, beakers and equations,
Correct.
so you'll certainly encounter those. But yeah, I mean, think about it. A research engineer might be designing experiments in a lab one day, and then the next, they're analyzing data with colleagues.
Okay.
They could be presenting their findings to, stakeholders who maybe aren't as scientifically minded as they are, or even visiting a manufacturing plant to see how their research is actually being, brought to life in the real world.
That's what I find so fascinating about this role. It's not just confined to a desk or a lab.
Right.
It's out there.
You're out there in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could be working on algorithms for autonomous vehicles one week, and then the next week you're collaborating with material scientists on the next generation of solar panels. It's
Exactly, yeah.
so varied.
And let's not forget, I mean, this line of work, often you're at the forefront of technological advancements,
Oh, for sure.
These are the folks who are really pushing the boundaries of what's possible, so they're usually the first ones to get their hands on, the latest and greatest tools and technologies.
And speaking of cutting-edge technology,
Mm.
I mean, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, right?
Well,
AI, the AI, RoleCatcher even uses it in their platform.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, like, transforming the work of a research engineer, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's AI is changing the game in so many ways.
In what ways?
Well, imagine being able to analyze these like massive, huge data sets with just incredible speed and accuracy, or even like automating those really tedious tasks
Right.
that used to take up like hours and hours of valuable time.
Yeah.
This frees up research engineers to actually focus on, the really creative, innovative aspects of the work.
It's like having a superpowered assistant, like crunching numbers and identifying patterns so you can focus on the bigger picture.
Exactly.
But, and this is a big but, there's also that, like, lingering fear of AI replacing jobs altogether,
Oh, yeah.
which is, I think, on a lot of people's minds right now.
It's a valid concern, yeah, and it's definitely one that, we can't just brush aside. But here's the thing. While AI is incredibly powerful, it still lacks, that human spark.
Okay.
It can analyze data like nobody's business, but it can't really understand, like, the nuances of human behavior or the complexities of the real world in the same way that we can.
So does this mean that research engineers, like, need to become AI whisperers, fluent in both, like, the language of data and the art of, human ingenuity?
Yeah, I think in a way, yes. It's not just about, understanding how to use AI as a tool,
Right.
but about developing those, like, uniquely human skills that AI just, like, can't replicate.
Like what?
Things like, creativity, critical thinking, ethical decision-making, and the ability to really collaborate and communicate effectively with other humans.
So it seems like the future of research will rely on this, like, fascinating partnership
I think so.
between human ingenuity and artificial intelligence.
Oh, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes.
Totally. But for someone considering this career path, what does that mean for their career trajectory?
Yeah.
Where do they even begin?
That's where RoleCatcher's insights into the different career stages are really, really valuable.
So that.
They paint a picture that's, far from linear. There are opportunities branching out in so many directions.
And I love how they break down the typical responsibilities and even provide, like, example profiles for each stage,
Yeah, they do a good job with that.
from, like, entry level all the way to those senior positions.
Uh-huh.
So let's walk through those stages, starting with someone just beginning their journey as a research engineer.
Okay, so at that entry level, you're, diving headfirst into the world of research.
Yeah.
You're assisting in the development of, new technologies. You're helping improve existing processes. You're conducting experiments.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, you're just soaking up knowledge like a sponge.
Right.
Think of it as building that foundational expertise.
And their example profile for this stage really emphasizes the importance of continuous learning, right?
Yes.
You've got your degree, you might even have some industry certification, but you're actively seeking out those opportunities to, like, grow and expand your skill set even further.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't stop.
It never stops.
Never stops.
Right?
So then, as you gain experience, as you gain that expertise, you might move into a senior research engineer role.
Exactly.
What does that look like?
So here, you're not just contributing to projects, you're actually, like, leading them.
Okay.
You're mentoring more junior engineers, you're collaborating across different teams, your technical expertise is obviously deeper, but so is your, like, understanding of that bigger picture.
It's like leveling up in a video game, right? You're taking on more challenging quests, you're gaining these valuable skills along the way,
I like that analogy.
but the journey doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't.
RoleCatcher also highlights the principal research engineer role.
Ah,
Yes. Tell us about that.
This is where it gets really interesting, especially for those who have, like, a more strategic mindset.
Okay.
They're not just leading projects at this point, they're developing and implementing entire research strategies for the organization.
Wow.
So they're the ones identifying key research opportunities, they're securing funding, and they're collaborating with all these different stakeholders to make sure that the research actually aligns with, the company's goals and objectives.
It sounds like a role that requires both, like, a deep understanding of that technical landscape, but also, like, a keen business sense as well.
You got it, yeah.
You're essentially a visionary leader
Mm-hmm.
guiding the direction of research for the entire organization.
Precisely. Yeah, it's a big job.
And then for those who thrive in those leadership roles, there's even the path of like a research engineering manager,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
What does that look like?
So this is where you're overseeing, multiple projects at the same time, you're managing budgets and resources, and you're really like fostering that spirit of innovation within your team.
And their example profile for this stage really paints a picture of someone who's not just a brilliant engineer,
Mm-hmm.
but also like a skilled communicator, a mentor, and a strategic thinker.
It's a demanding path, but it's incredibly rewarding for those who, can bridge that gap between the cutting edge research and the like effective leadership.
It's amazing to see how much like room for growth exists,
Yeah.
within this one role.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no matter what stage you're at, it seems like this theme of constant evolution just keeps like popping out,
Yeah,
right?
it's essential.
RoleCatcher really emphasizes that importance of, continuous learning and development. And it sounds like it's not just about, reading those latest research papers.
No, it's about having that like inherent curiosity, that drive to always be pushing yourself beyond, what you're comfortable with.
Your comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Push those boundaries.
Because, think about it. The technology landscape is always changing,
Constantly.
especially in a field, like research engineering. It's so dynamic. Right.
What you learn today could be like obsolete tomorrow. So that willingness to adapt and like constantly be expanding your skill set it's crucial to staying ahead.
It's like being a lifelong student, always eager to like dive into a new course or like explore some different area of expertise.
100%.
And I imagine that's especially true with the rise of, AI, which kind of brings us back to that question we touched upon earlier.
Mm-hmm.
How will AI reshape the role of a research engineer in the years to come? It's a big question.
It's a question that everyone's asking, right?
Yeah.
And it's sparking all sorts of debate and discussion.
Really?
Some people, they're really worried about AI just taking over and replacing human jobs.
Yeah.
While others are like, no, this is great. It's a powerful tool that's only going to augment human capabilities.
Right.
And lead to all these breakthroughs we haven't even thought of.
It's easy to get caught up in the fear-mongering, but what if we like shifted our perspective a bit
Right,
and
yeah.
looked at like what are the exciting possibilities here? Exactly. Yeah. Let's think about that.
Okay.
Imagine a future where AI is, helping research engineers analyze these massive data sets, identifying these patterns that would take us, like, as humans, years to uncover.
Okay.
This could lead to, like, way faster drug discovery, more efficient renewable energy solutions, even, like, personalized learning experiences that are tailored to a student's needs.
It's like AI taking care of all that like tedious stuff.
Yeah, all the boring parts.
Yeah.
So we can focus on the more interesting things.
And that's just like scratching the surface.
Oh, yeah,
What if AI can like help us tackle challenges that just seem like insurmountable today?
Right.
Like developing those sustainable solutions to climate change or like eradicating diseases that have, plagued humanity for centuries.
It's mind-blowing when you really think about it.
It is, but it's
Yeah.
not about AI versus humans, right?
No, not at all.
It's about like how can we leverage, the strengths of both?
Exactly. It's about partnership. AI can handle, like you said, that heavy lifting of data analysis and, automation.
Right.
And that frees up the research engineers to focus on, that creative problem solving, the critical thinking, the ethical considerations, all that stuff that's so essential for responsible innovation, which I think is something we all want.
So instead of like fearing obsolescence, maybe we should be asking ourselves, what like new roles, what new specializations might like come out of this collaboration between human ingenuity and artificial intelligence?
Now, that is the million-dollar question.
It is.
We might see, the rise of research engineers who specialize in like AI ethics.
Oh, interesting.
Making sure that these, really powerful technologies are being developed and then deployed responsibly.
Right, with some guardrails.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe we'll see a huge surge in demand for engineers who can like bridge that gap between, the AI systems and the human users,
Yeah.
designing intuitive interfaces and experiences.
Right, because it has to be user-friendly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can't just be like ones and zeros on a screen.
Exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
future like
Yeah.
brimming with possibilities. And it's those who like embrace the unknown, who are constantly learning and adapting, who are going to be leading the charge.
No doubt about it.
So to our listeners, if you're drawn to that challenge of like solving those complex problems, pushing those boundaries of what's possible, and really like shaping the future with your ingenuity, then a career as a research engineer might be like the perfect fit for you.
It could be, yeah.
Just remember, it's not a destination, it's a journey
Always evolving.
of continuous learning, collaboration, and that like relentless exploration. Right?
Never stop learning.
Never stop.
Yeah.
And who knows? You might be the one to make that next groundbreaking discovery.
It could be you.
Invent that next life-changing technology, or even just like inspire the next generation of research engineers, which I think is really cool.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time.